morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Acacia Clement and Andy Serling. Friday, it feels like the rain has sort of left us, but it's left us with a still sloppy and sealed track as the sun is threatening to come out. But I don't really have much else to say.
That was a really inspiring open.
I'm trying. I'm feeling inspired today. I really am. I am. So I'm going to inspire you to head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member, bonus 200. Flavia and Pratt want you to join. We want you to join. How can you resist? We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. Check out track stats when you're over at Naira Bets as well. We got a lot of stuff going on. $16,000 carryover in the Pick Six today. It's really weird that the last winner wasn't covered yesterday. There were two bombs not covered, and there were horses covered that were a bigger price than the last winner. I was shocked when I heard. I'd just gotten home and I heard there was the Pick Six wasn't it.
I totally agree. It was one of the few horses in there that actually had shown a little bit on the dirt.
I bet him, so I certainly agree. But I did more than that. It just seemed like a random third horse not covered. And I understand. It's one of those things when the pool is smaller. It obviously decreased the likelihood of horse getting hit, but that was not a sequence that in any way had any massive potholes in it. You would have thought it would have been hit. And it's the kind of thing where if it had been a carryover, even more than this, it would have been hit multiple times. It would have paid less than the carryover today. We also have, what do we have, Eddie? Keep them coming. The contest. You have until post time today to sign up for the $40 feed-in Fridays, and then tomorrow's $300 contest. Get all the info at nairabets.com/contest. We have a 10% bonus on tries. Del Mar Friday. Next week is closing week. Next week they have the big, because they started early with the Breeders' Cup. So the Matriarch and the Hollywood Derby are next weekend.
Yes.
Saturday.
Carson's going to be running in the
Carson's
Hollywood
runs?
Derby.
Heading out?
He is.
Are you heading out?
I'm not.
No? I went for the Hollywood Derby at 16. Had a good time.
No, I'm not going because then I got to get ready a few days after that to go to Jamaica with you.
Tell you, we are going to have a rip-roaring time down in Jamaica. It is great. It's great fun down there. I'm looking forward to it a lot. Yeah, no, it really is. And we'll be covering the Mute Mile for the second consecutive year on Cigar Mile Day on Saturday the 7th. Looking forward to getting down there and seeing the crew down there in Jamaica as well. A lot of fans down there. What else do we have, Eddie? We have 12 to 4:30. 12 to 4:30 on FS2 covering all the action today. We have a 400-person team because apparently a Friday at Aqueduct is really just like a Saturday in Saratoga. We got more people working today than you can shake a stick at. Race number 1. Well, from the experience standpoint, I thought Granadilla would take some money. We'll take a look at this horse running second. And I know this might not fit the pattern, but I don't think it should be ignored. This horse is going out for Rick Dutro's barn, and he had his 7th winner in 9 racing cards yesterday, one of whom equaled his career top buyer. The others all set career top buyers, and the winner yesterday just ran off the screen from start to finish, albeit at 9-5, but won like a 1-9 shot. And while I don't get this horse getting 7 furlongs, and she's had her share of chances, Acacia, I think that you have to be a little extra scared of any horse that Rick Dutro's running right now.
Absolutely. And I think that that's just the main piece of it. Also, I mean, you kind of have to include her in there protectively, I think, because she's run fast enough and she's hit the board. It's just she's 0 for 6 at this point, and I don't know. I know that she's only been a short race a couple times in her career, but
well, the assumption is that, like just about every William Walden horse that's shown up here, and you talk about Rick Dutro's numbers recently. Well, the horse that William Walden has shipped and the horse he started have been doing their share of running off the screen as well. And the assumption is by you and by me that this horse is going to be good. And if this horse is good, she's probably going to have speed. She is a 4-year-old first-time starter, though, and we are an hour plus away from post time. But right now, she's not taking any money. But it just seems like every horse he brings here runs.
That was a key, and she is a first-time starter in a race where you just have horses that have had quite a few chances and you're just a little bit tired of, I think, at the same point, too. And like you said, I don't love that she took this long to debut. If you kind of look even deeper through her workout pattern, she has had some stops and starts along the way, so it's taken her some time to get to the racetrack. But that being said, she's just an appealing fresh face with Flavien Prat when you have, like you said, the likes of Grenadier and then Capital Spending, who's been a turf horse.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, it's very early in the wagering right now, and people are going to bet this horse, but I'm not sure why you want to jump on Capital Spending. And they're going to look at the buyer figures and say, well, this is the fastest horse in the race. Well, yes and no. A lot of her races, she's really done no running, and the figures more reflect the winners of the race, and they reflect her performance. But why are we supposed to jump on this horse as a dirt horse? Why wouldn't he have run this horse in the dirt at some point if he thought she could handle the dirt?
Yeah, she does have a lot of dirt pedigree on the bottom side. The dam was a dirt sprinter. But, like you said, she's been exclusively on the turf. I mean, if she'd shown anything training early on in her career, you would have thought that they'd give it a little bit of a try. I get it.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is just not the kind of horse I'm really interested in. I actually looked at the one. Lisa Lugovich has had a couple winners lately. And the truth about the one, Monetary Monarch, is why is this horse supposed to be a big price versus a horse like the two?
Yeah.
She's run figures as high, if not higher, than some of the race the two's run. And she's coming off a layoff. But we've seen Lisa Lugovich win a couple of races recently. They've been with maidens, and they've run well. So I don't want to ignore this horse completely. I actually thought that was kind of an interesting.
The one big question is the layoff, but I agree. I mean, my notes from her two-back was I actually really, really liked her. So, we'll see what she can do.
Well, something went wrong last time.
Yeah,
her race two back was fine.
Absolutely.
If you just were betting off a race two back, she could be 7-2 or 3-1 in this race, to be honest. So I feel like she may be the one that kind of gets lost a little in the wagering.
Yeah.
That I'm not saying I love her, but she's not impossible in here. And let's say we get to post it, and the 3-horse for William Walden is 5-2 or 3-1. That's kind of dead on the board in this field.
Totally agree.
And I think it opens it up to keep an open mind for these, because I don't want to just opt out for the 6 because the horse has never been on the dirt. She probably hasn't been on the dirt for a reason. Race number 2, as you and I were talking about before we came on camera, whether we liked Stonewall Star or not, she was a layer to this field.
Yes.
And now it's really a question of, as we start out with St. Benedict's Prep, who I imagine will be favored by post time because of her speed. Do you want her speed, or do you want a horse that on her better day may be more talented? We'll get to in Chi-Town Lady. You've gone the speed route. I went the other route.
Yeah, I went the speed route. I think Chi-Town Lady is the most talented in this field, but that being said, St. Benedict's Prep last time out was dueling early on with Nick Style, really kind of hustled out of the gate in the pumpkin pie. That's a very fast horse that she had to face.
Good horse.
I don't think, and a very good horse, as you said. I don't think that she has to deal with the likes of that kind of horse on the front end in this spot. And while Chi-Town Lady is clearly the best horse in the field, she is pace compromised sometimes.
I agree. I wonder in these small fields, I feel like small fields sometimes benefit the pace setters less than they should.
That's fair.
And obviously Movie Moxie will be sitting out there sort of riding shotgun as far as Chi-Town Lady, and we'll go back and look at a race of hers back in July, 2 races back when she finished 3rd. And I think it's an interesting race to use because she was compromised by a track that was extremely speed friendly here, and Tough Street was able to take advantage of that. And Tough Street and a Colt are pretty good horses. I don't love her. I just figured if Wesley was shipping her here, I just thought she might be better than the 3. I don't have a strong opinion though, Acacia, to be honest.
She is a grade 1 winner. Never forget
Won
that.
the test.
She won the test, and she got the setup that day. But she's run some fast races throughout as well. I mean, and facing the best company in the division.
Well, that was a strange test that they ran
was.
when they kept the track sealed. And a lot of us were surprised. And also Matarea, who was the heavy favorite in there, she didn't run. And she was laid up off that. And when she came back, she ran like one
never
or two
really
good
was
races.
The same.
She won in that race where Goodnight Olive got blocked, right? And
yes, where Goodnight Olive had the trouble.
Right, and then she fell apart promptly thereafter. And Hot Peppers, who was second, she just sold for like 400 and change, I think, at the Keeneland at the Night of Stars. I don't know if it was Keeneland or Fast. It was a Night of Stars sale. Anyway, we'll see what happens in race number 2. Pam Pam, a big scratch coming out of race number 3. And it leaves the horse I have on top, who I liked anyway. Shahana is the controlling speed, I would think, in this race. And I strictly took the 6 Shahana in this race because she was wide against a gold rail last time out. And I'm just hoping she's a little bit dirtied up, and now as the potential speed, she has a good chance and gives her an edge over perhaps some better horses.
And I think that this is just the right spot for her. She broke her maiden for 30,000, and then they got aggressive. And look, she actually ran pretty well when using her speed 2 starts back. And then last time out, as you mentioned, she just couldn't clear and was stuck in kind of that wide no man's man's land, uncomfortable position. I thought 5-2 was interesting, dropping in class as well. In that race, 2 starts back, she was in the advantageous part of the track where she was stalking inside. But that said, I just think that this is a better spot for her as well. And before Pam Pam came out, I thought that 5-2 was really going to get the right kind of trip. And I still like her, so I ended up leaving her on top. But I do agree, if they're aggressive with Shahana, and they should be, that could be a big advantage for her.
Yeah, we'll see. She's an ex-claim from Linda Rice, and Linda has the horse at the rail. She's Cool, who actually finished ahead of 5-2 last time out. I guess She Cool can win this race. I don't know.
She just doesn't get out of the gate.
I'm not that. Yeah, I feel like she's a horse that's going to be badly compromised by the race dynamics, and as the potential favorite, I prefer to go elsewhere as well. And the 6 and 3 figure to have more forward position. See what happens in race number 3. Race number 4, I was going to try to bet on Spirit Dragon. We'll take a look at Western Wolf finishing 3rd last time, but I don't know, and unless there's something going on in here with the firsters, and there is one I really want to talk about. I actually was going to text you about when I was looking at this race a few nights ago. I don't know why this horse is going to probably pay $260 in here.
Right.
It's going to be the biggest favorite in Mitch Friedman's career.
Yes.
Seriously.
I know.
She's not bad, this horse.
No, she's not. She showed a lot of speed first time out, and it was funny because I was in the paddock for her debut, and I remember commenting, she looked asleep before the race, and she clearly was more clued in last time out, sharper. Second time, she went right to the lead. Chris's Revenge able to run her down there, and then she kind of flattened, losing second as well. But with her speed, with the races that she's run so far, how fast they've been, I mean, like you said, you just really don't really know with the firsters in here. Bobby Bob is the intriguing one with that pedigree, though, as I know you saw, it's largely turf on the bottom side.
Well, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's that the horse sold for $19,000 as a yearling. I mean, this horse has, if this horse sold for $700,000, you wouldn't be surprised. And the Dam won, what did she win? $1.2 million. She won the Diana. Dam is one of the better horses Christophe ever trained, actually. She produced 2 horses that could run really well.
You know, hard not to like is how Miguel and I met.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My very first interview, I was doing Horse Racing Radio Network at the time, and she won the Diana, and my first person I interviewed was Christophe, and that's when I first met Miguel.
Really?
Yeah.
And there you are, hard not to like, and then there's Miguel, who's hard to like. So it was really sort of a very interesting meeting of people. I kid. Miguel's goal in life is to be on Talking Horses. And I got to tell you that his dress rehearsal at the Breeders' Cup, it didn't go well. This is just, to me, this is one of the more intriguing horses. Yeah. And I really meant to text you about it just to sort of, because I couldn't believe when I saw $19,000
well,
here.
as good a racehorse as she was, she's unfortunately not been the best producer.
She's got 2 horses that ran figures in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Constitution. They sell for $400,000 and $500,000 every time.
I know. I mean, the 19 is really low. Very, very low.
This horse, I expect this horse to come out with 2 heads or something.
Yeah.
It's one of the more interesting purchase prices. I scratched the horse for second because, I mean, I'll tell you, Henry's Hope, the 5. And people are going to say an Eduardo Jones first.
No, I know.
This horse has plenty of pedigree, actually.
Yeah, he does. He certainly does. And by McLean's Music, the Dam was precocious as well. She went at 2 sprinting, and yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you don't really know what you're going to get in here. I thought Max and FIFO was a little intriguing. I don't know about the dirt because the pedigree is largely turf on the bottom side as well. But the biggest thing was the gelding, because this horse has been his own worst enemy in his first 2 starts. He was better last time out. I just don't think he wants to go that far, but he was an absolute mess prior to his first race.
Did he bolt or something in his last race, basically?
Yeah, he was really hard to handle throughout. So I thought the gelding was intriguing.
He just has no dirt pedigree.
No,
His pedigree is screaming turf.
I know.
I'd argue he's more of a turf pedigree than Bobby Bob, who at least has pedigree, just can handle it. I'm really curious to see about Bobby Bob, because that's the craziest 19,000 for that. Amazing. Race number 5. What are we doing in race number 5? What'd you do here?
I went with a first-time starter, Lottie Margaret. Another one on the bottom side, largely more turf. The second Dam was very good.
Well, Mashley Girl was a dirt horse.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Half to Mashley Girl, who was fine sprinting and going long on the dirt.
Has
Global
Global
Campaign
had much success? I always liked him as a racehorse.
Me too. I really liked him too.
Yeah.
He's been a little bit quiet. But to be honest, I haven't seen many.
I was going to say, I feel like I've
haven't
seen a few.
many.
There was one that was pretty expensive, I feel like,
That
in
Bill
Saratoga.
Mott had.
Yeah.
That was from the 2-year-old sale. Yeah, they had quite a few that sold well at the 2-year-old sales, but I haven't seen a lot on the racetrack.
It's a little early to give up on them.
I
It's Brad Cox. I'm obviously not going to be surprised if the horse is a runner. It always seems to be the case. I didn't include the horse anywhere. I did want to show the start. I just don't know if Honey in the Bank is good enough. But I did want to show some of the horses race. I mean, I send these videos in before I've made my picks most of the time, just so we can get them in. This horse does not break and actually drops back to basically last and makes a real move early in the race. I just wish that Honey in the Bank, I always love to find reasons to pick Horacio de Paz's horse, but this horse does run well in the context of the race. I'm just afraid that there's better horses in here, but I don't think this horse is totally impossible.
No, I agree. I actually thought that she did run on a little bit too. She had an outside post going 6.5 on debut, and it was for 40,000, so she just stepped up to the special weight level. But she kind of made that big move and couldn't quite reach the leaders. But I thought actually did make up some ground, which was encouraging from a debut.
Yeah, we can get those picks back up there. Are we struggling here, Eddie, for a minute? I don't want to go to the horses. I mean, I did take a horse that theoretically improved on turf, but I don't see it that way. Whereas Forever to Go has only been on the turf, and I'm not saying the horse is impossible and Honest Mischief, but these are not the kind you really want. Wild Mischief, another one. And think about Wild Mischief, unlike my horse, didn't get bet first time and then did more running on the turf.
The biggest thing with Wild Mischief is, to me, she took a huge step forward on the turf.
Whereas I don't know that Twirling Lou really did, because Twirling Lou was bet off the board first time out and sort of acted up before the race and chased the fast pace. So I want to give her another chance on the dirt because she was bet first time. I know she's going to take a little extra money because she ran well enough in the dirt. But, I mean, listen, the 6 is the horse to beat, the horse we have second. But it's not like Princess Mischief has run badly in any of her races, and this is a race. How many Honest Mischiefs are there in here? 3?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing illogical about her at all.
No, absolutely not. I mean, she faced With the Angels first time out, then tried the Ladyfinger against Stone Smuggler. Last time out, I thought she was off the pace, and they went 1-2 around, and she actually did run on a little bit late. So she's I think, clearly the horse to beat.
She's the one who has the dirt form to beat.
She's the one that has the dirt form to beat. Yes, I agree.
I would rather bet her. I mean, David has her 5-1, and he has the 2 5-2, and I'm not criticizing the line. If he's right, I mean, the 6 is 1,000 times better bet, in my opinion, than the 2.
Agree. I totally
see what
agree.
happens.
I totally agree.
All right, see what happens in race number 5. That'll end the early pick 5 and start off the late one, and we'll come back with the late pick 4 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Keisha Clement and Andy Serling. This is a race that had no speed to begin with. You scratch one of the speeds and Jolly Miss Jill changes things a little bit. As we take a look at the replay of April Antics and Trade Secrets, 2 horses that are dropping down in here, I just preferred Trade Secret because of the lack of pace in this race, and I think that's going to very much help both the 4 and 7, 2 horses that should be forward.
I agree. I stuck with Hazardous Humor for a similar reason, but Trade Secret dropping back down in class, it should be forwardly placed, was run down by April Antics back in July, but it was a different kind of setup at that point.
I also thought the rail was good that day, and April Antics was on the rail, and she was chasing
April Antics,
outside.
I think, was also a different horse at that time.
I agree with you. I agree. She had just come off the claim.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, she has been running against much better horses. And I think it's a question. These ones have been running against better, though they have run, obviously, at lower levels before. And then we'll take a look at the horse you have on top, Hazardous Humor's last race. She got the money last time. I was looking up numbers off the wins for Wayne Potts. They're okay. Not great, but You know, the thing with her is you got the money last time, but I can't argue.
That's fair.
with her.
She was off slow last time out as well, but she has run well at a mile before, and I don't know what the last couple of races have been because she hasn't gotten out of the gate well, which never used to really be a problem for her. So I was just hoping with the stretch out and distance we'd see her more forwardly placed. Like I said, she's shown an affinity for the distance before. Tactically, I thought that she was going to be in a good position with the outside post.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against her. I don't have a strong opinion. I just thought the 4 might be a little bit better and be forward, but I'm not going to take a definitive stand. Race number 7. Race number 7 is a funny race because you've got 2 horses that might run 1-2 in here, but each one of them comes with a little bit of a warning on the label. And starting with My Magic Wand, in my opinion, she benefited a great deal from an extremely strong bias in this race. And I'm not saying she's not good, but how good she really is open to debate. And she's, in my opinion, not an 80 buyer horse, probably closer to a high 60s to 70. And she's going to be bet like an 80 buyer horse. And she may well win, but I feel like she'll be an underlay.
I agree. She was purchased out of this race as well. So gives that for the new ownership. She won by open lengths last time. Like you said, she was with the track. She clearly took a big step forward first to second start, but see if she can continue progressing. She does have to face winners for the first time, and she's slightly raced versus some that have a little bit more experience, but the ones that do, you know, there's not a ton to really sink your teeth into. And as much as I like Aunt Yola, I just thought that she really did improve switching to the grass.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. She did run better on turf, but I actually think she ran well in some of her races, and I thought she had an excuse a little bit in the geopolitics race in May. And I'm not convinced that she doesn't have some dirt ability, and I can't take My Magic Wand off of the Gold Rail win. And as we look at geopolitics last race, and you have her 4th, I have her 3rd,
She's hard to
I
take.
don't know how you can bet her.
No.
I mean, she drifted out really badly in this race. Miss Lau is fine, but the rest of the field left a lot to be desired, and she was bad in here. And I'm just not sure why you want to take her again, considering she was always a bit of a phony. Even when she was good, she was a phony. She broke her maiden against a horrible field. And I don't know, man. I don't like her.
Nope, I'm with you. I mean, she even lost getting second that day as well.
Well, she got placed second in the betting because of the first money. It was the luckiest exact I ever hit in my life because she was horrendous.
She lost the bob for second anyway, watching the race. But yes.
5 cents to the dollar last time. She was over bet, but she shouldn't have been more than 2 to 5.
And she was drifting out early on in the race. I mean, she was hard to handle. So
she drifts, and there was a whole
thing
about the
that.
blinkers
she has the
and all that. But
she
drifted when she won with the blinkers. I don't think you can help this horse with blinkers.
No, I don't know what you do with her.
Go ahead on the 4, who I've given up.
And that is certainly fair. Look,
she ran last time after I bet her like 3 straight times.
I do not trust her at all, but she did run well last time out. I thought there was a very solid effort from her. There are a few races in there that would make her very competitive. Just one that I thought, yes, she is a horse that has disappointed a few times along the way, but she's going to be a price today. And if you don't necessarily trust My Magic Wand or Aunt Yola or geopolitics, which I don't, to me, she was a little bit of an alternative. I think trust is a strong word. Like is a strong word.
She just doesn't have any consistency.
She doesn't. No, she doesn't.
But
she will be running late, and we'll see.
And I think this is a race.
Well, you got My Magic Wand, and then you've got Geopolitics, who even with her drifting, she goes forward. So we'll see how
it's a little bit tricky because you're trying to beat 2 horses in here, and one of them may show up and get it done. But I think both of them do come with a little bit of a warning label based on their last race. They're not as good as they look. Race number 8, I frankly copped out, and I took the horses out of this race. Mighty Atlas, Shadow Dragon, and Bourbon Chase. Both Bourbon Chase and Shadow Dragon are horses that do not have an affinity for winning, whereas Mighty Atlas really ran last time. And I I don't love him, but I don't know why he's not a logical horse in this race.
I agree. Mighty Atlas
Same
has
condition.
a little bit of versatility. Exactly. Coming back for the claiming tag, so even though he won this race against Common
with a
Foes
tag.
last time out, in for the claiming tag, could come right back and do it again. So we can certainly see him do exactly that. You look at Call Me Harry, who's a turf sprinter, did that several times in that condition running for the claiming tag. And so I think it's a little bit of a benefit as well. I think he's very logical. I think all the horses out of there are very logical.
Yeah, I couldn't. I know Two's a Crowd ran a good figure last time. I don't buy it.
I like him cutting back to the mile, though.
I don't disagree with that. The problem is he's not competitive on any of his other races. That's my concern.
That's fair. That's fair. I like him cutting back to the mile. I know he wasn't able to sustain it against that company. We watched the race 2 starts back on the wet track. But he's a horse that I thought should be forwardly placed. And like I said, I just thought this was a better distance for him.
He ran a big fig last time, and he is cutting back. I agree. I gave him a long look in there. And then there's Engineer Empire on the outside, who was a complete and total no-show in that race. He's a better horse than that, though, and I wouldn't just completely give up on him at a big price. I couldn't make a strong enough case to take him.
I took such a long look at him, too. And I think if you look through his form, he's clearly been a tough horse to keep on the racetrack. So that's always a little bit of a negative as well. But he comes back now second off the bench. And all of his best races have been second off a layoff, which is what he gets to do today. And I would imagine they'll be aggressive with him. But does he want a little bit longer, too?
Yeah, but he's got the good posts from the outside, and he should be well placed in here. I just don't know. I'm not sure, even if he runs his best race, if he's necessarily good enough. That's also the problem with him. See what happens with the New York Breds in race number 8. And we close it out in the 9th in a race where I see you and I have the same top choice in the last race. I'll let you talk about Big Rich.
Big Rich, first time dropping in for a claiming tag, back on the main track. Faced some good horses on the main track early on in his career. Tried the turf last time to no avail. This just seems like the right spot.
And it's the first time for Jeremiah Engelhardt on dirt as well. I went there. The only other horse that I really was interested in using was Linda Rice's horse, going from turf to dirt. She often uses the turf to prep for dirt because judge rules may win this race, but I'm sorry.
He's had a
He's
lot
just
of
had
chances.
a lot of chances on both surfaces.
That's why I put him second.
Yeah, I feel like from a winning standpoint, I want the 3 and 4 in this race, and that's about it. Unless you want to throw in Robbie Falcone's horse, all of a sudden Lee trying the dirt for the first time, but I'm not exactly sure why. It's not really a pedigree that screams dirt improvement.
No, the Dam was more of a dirt horse, but I think the best foals so far have been better on turf.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it, and you'll see with Super Estrella, but I'm going to try Big Rich in here, switching to Jeremiah for the dirt. Guess that's it. And Big Ego, I'm not going to play Big Ego.
No, I've had enough of Big Ego.
Maybe they
had
should
enough.
find a 4.5 for a long race for him. That's about as much stamina as he has. Keisha, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Head on over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member, use the promo code bonus 200. I got so many promo codes in my brain that
this is our last Talking Horses of the year together, right? Because I'm doing next Sunday.
I'm here next Sunday.
Oh, no, then it's with you. Okay.
I'm here next Sunday. I'll be here next Saturday.
Originally I was with Paul on Friday, but I switched with Maggie.
Oh,
so I'll
okay.
be with
So
you
you're
Sunday.
doing next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
And I'll be here I'm here this weekend. I'll be here next Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and then I will be out until we get the New Year. We'll be down in Jamaica, though. We'll do a Talking Horses from there.
Great.
You'll get to meet all sorts of important people down in Florida, down in Jamaica.
Very excited.
Such terrific people down there. Really had a great time. Head over. What else we got? We got the track stats. Check them out. Also, we have a $16,549 carryover. It starts in race number 4 of our 9-race card. We have the $300 contest. You'll have till post time tomorrow. Sign up for this. Get all the info at nairabets.com/contest. And we are on from 12 to 4:30. Oh, thank you, Eddie. I forgot that all-important try bonus at Del Mar. Want to opt in for that. If you're playing Del Mar today, as their penultimate weekend of the Old Hollywood Park meet, and 12 to 4:30 on FS2, covering all the action. Thanks again. Thank you again. Chris Griffin will be up next. Reprise, scratches and changes. Have a good day.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.